Today we will learn how to create our own functions. Please open your favorite text. Remember the other functions you previously called. They were probably range, int, str, float, etc. type function. Again, these functions are built-in functions in Python, part of Python core, so you don't really need to know what's inside. You are using them as they are. Um, What you may need to know is how exactly these functions should be used, and I showed it to you in the previous video how to find information about it. So in Python, everything is organized in modules. When you're reusing someone's function, you may import a specific module. A module typically is an assembly of related functions. For example, OS module handles file system operations in Python. So you may actually look inside whenever module you come up with because the code is open and you may check it out. I'll just show you this some parts of OS module. It's opened in my PyCharm editor, but in my case, you see the full address over here. To check out yours, you can try to type which Python, and then you see where your Python core is located with all of the modules inside it, and you may find a very similar address within your Python too, but it's not necessary. You can just look at my screen. So basically, this is how os.py looks like. It's a module again to control some low-level file operations, like for example, check if file exists, or open new file, create new file, add some more information. You probably worked with a file already during your project hours. So you may take a look how it looks like. Some functions are defined inside this module. You see a huge amount of comments, like this one says that this function actually is a directory tree generator, which would be quite important function. I don't know why it needs that extensive commenting, but probably it was necessary in this case. You see also some other comments inside this function. You see some exceptions processed. It's unfortunately not covered in this course. So this is probably too complicated code for you at the moment. It's not again necessary for you to understand it. Just if you're curious, you can go and check it out, how those functions are written and how these core modules in Python are written, or other modules. So why we need functions at all? It's actually helping you to structure your code. It makes it easier for you to read it later, especially if you are careful with naming the functions and writing extra comments about what it's doing. It also allows you to execute the same code many times whenever you want with different values inside the function, but processed completely the same way. It also allows you to share your code with others for them to reuse it, or it also allows you to use other people's code, like again you use this range function, for example. Now we will create our own and very simple function, and then we will apply this function to some simple task. So let's say, yeah, we need to go to Python, shell, and to create a function, you need to use a special keyword that is called def. It's define. Then you need to specify your function name. Let's call it my function. And then you need to put two braces and a colon. Press enter and be careful here. I'm using tab, so I'm pressing tab here and saying print Hello world. Instead of tab, you can use four spaces. It's called indentation, and you saw it previously already with the loops and with if. We used indentation as well there. So for Python, indentation is necessary. It's for language processor to be able to parse the code, to be able to understand where the specific parts of the code are located. So for example, for this function def, you say, okay, I define the function, and here the function body. So that is how Python is reading it, and that is how Python is parsing it. Again, you can use tab, or you can use four spaces, and that's a big war in the Python community, with different arguments for each of the option. You can go to the internet and just read about it if you're curious. Okay, press enter. Now your function is defined. So if you try to type my function without braces, it will show you that the function is located at some address in your memory, in your computer memory. You probably do not read this information, but what you need is you need to call the function, right? For that, you're using the syntax my function, and you put two braces, and then the function is called.